Alright, so here's my gas one. This is my stove. This is what I use. I got rid of my oven, you know, the 4 burner range oven thing. Like, why? It weighs 200 pounds. Who in their right mind uses that? My whole life I've never used the whole stove. I've only used like 1 burner, right, at a time, and maybe the oven. But what do you use the oven for? Not much. You can cook everything in in a a toaster oven right here. This Black & Decker toaster oven. I am not kidding you. I can cook a full cake in here. That is an 8x8 pan. It's dirty, but it's 8x8. Anchor Hocking right there. And look, it fits. Now, if you get one of these, make sure you go and grab the 8x8 pan first, the Anchor Hocking one, and put it in there and make sure that it fits. Because I've tried it once with one, and the door was open like this much, and I was so pissed. Anyways, the one I got here, I think this is Black & Decker. Yeah, it's Black & Decker. This is dirty as fuck, so just bear with me. I gotta clean that stuff up. For a lighter, I used this. I used one of these. Now this propane bottle was empty. I got one of these empties. I actually have 3 empties. 2 up there, 1 down here. One of them has a leaky valve on it, so I don't use it unless I have something on it that has you know, an adjuster or something on it. But anyways, instead of using like one of these disposable lighters, I mean these stick lighters, they're fine, right? They're fine and all, but I haven't found a way to refill these. Yeah, I don't see a refill hole on here or anything. But I like, you know, I like the one that looks like this. It's got a torch on it, right? So what you do is you get one of these propane bottles here, like this, right? Look at that. And you use it as the lighter. Look at that. Look at how big that flame you can get. And you can make it smaller if you want. Anyways, I use this Gas One Mini. You can use butane. One of these. You can use one of these in here and just slide it in. But look, this only has 250 grams, right? This holds 454. I've actually gotten 480 grams refilled into this bottle right now. Actually, today I refilled it to 480 grams. With one of these 20-pound propane bottles, which are only $14. And if you look here, I've got one of these nozzles on here, see, where you can attach a 1-pounder to it. And I got this on Amazon for, what was it, $7? I think they're up to $8 now. But it's this kind here. So this propane bottle is like $15, right? And then it costs $2 to fill, $2.50 to fill up over at Tractor Supply Company per pound, or not per pound, per gallon. There's 5 gallons in here or something like that. So 5 times 250 or something. I don't know. It comes out to like 12 something. Can't remember. Anyways, if you want to connect that Gas One mini stove directly to a 20-pound tank, you just take this, connect it here, and then connect this to where the 1-pound bottle goes, right? Oh, and for water I use this. This is a 7-gallon Reliance. I got it at Walmart in the camping section for 14 bucks. But this is my backup water supply, and what I do is I fill this up with water and I use the water from here to cook with, right? Because it's not coming out of the tap. Because out of the tap, it's cold. Out of here, it's not cold. It's room temperature. So when I get this, I don't have to use as many BTUs to heat up that water. All right. Oh, and over here, here's my sink. That's how big it is, so you can look at that. I really don't do anything with this. Except for, like, I'll fill water up here. And the good thing about this is that it actually hangs out over here. So if you want to fill up like a 5-gallon bucket or something with water or some large container, then you can. But what I do is I take this 88 cents Mainstays pitcher. What is it? EPA free, made in the US, 2 quarts. So I take this 88-cent pitcher, and I use it to fill this Berkey. It's I think it's the Berkey Travel or something like that. It's 1.25 gallons, this Berkey is. And the reason why people are like, well, you know, I go through a lot of water. Well, you know, you can take this, fill your Berkey up, right? And then after that fills up, that's 1.25 gallons down here. You can take this mixing jug, which is 1 gallon, holds 1 gallon of water. And if they're like, well, I don't like tasting stuff that tastes like plastic. Well, I tell you what, if you're drinking 1.25 gallons of water or whatever more out of there, then you'll be through this before you even taste the plastic, right? Okay, so that's my theory on it. And then after you fill this up, after it's cycled through once, then you put in another one. And now you have 2.25 gallons of water per day. Do you see? Okay. And that way you don't have to use so much space. Also, I have this electric kettle. So if I'm going to boil water, right, in this pot over here, I'll fire it up on the kettle first, get the water boiling in here, and then I'll pour it into the pot over here when I want to cook. Right, when I want to cook something. And it's, let's see, it's Calphalon brand. That's what I use. Or Calphalon, yeah. Here's my oil decanter. I don't fill it up a lot because oil's not supposed to be exposed to light. It's supposed to be in a dark bottle. So I only use just a little bit, or put it in there anyways. I don't use a lot of oil anyways. Not only that, if it decides to spill over, look, it's like completely, it's almost completely over, and it's not going to tip out of there. It's got a cork on it. So this is the Flame King 1 pound refillable propane bottle. And right here, that's where you let the pressure out when you're refilling it. Okay, so, and I have a tea kettle here if I need to use it when the water, or like, so if power goes out, you know, I have propane. People are like, well, I got a big propane tank in my house because, you know, if the power goes out, well, all right, there you go. Just run it this way, right? You don't need a giant oven. So now that I have, or you don't need a giant stove, which has to be plugged in, unless it's propane, but it has to be plugged in to like a 50 amp outlet to 240. That's like the size of a welder. Why I don't understand why you would have that much power. Anyways, underneath here I have my fridge. The fridge is what is it, 2.6 cubic feet. 2.6 cubic feet gives me, I believe, 27 inches to the top. here I have my cheese grater with multiple cheese grating thing, or multiple grating sections in there. And look, it's tiny, it's compact, right? And when you're doing your deal, it goes into this little storage container. Perfect. These are my drawers that I need to clean up. I'm reorganizing. And then a lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, I eat a lot more food than that. You know, I got a huge family to feed or something. And I'm like, well, if you plan your meals correctly, you can get away with using just that one. You can get away with using just that burner, a single burner. And if you need to, get another one, right? It doesn't take up much space. And when you're not using it, just tuck it away like this. You see that right there? That's what it sits in right there, is that case. So you could put the other one inside there. Anyways, people are like, well, you know, I use more food than 2.3 or 2.6 cubic feet. Well, look, there you go. Get yourself another one right there. And then space it out. So my idea was to put like, you know, condiments in here. So like, you know, your stone ground and your barbecue sauce. Now this, I don't go with yellow mustard. I go with the stone ground because I like stone ground. Tastes better, so I don't have to have two mustards. If I had to choose between one and the other, I would choose the stone ground. Like I have this ketchup is probably bad, so this isn't even my ketchup, but I don't have ketchup in here. I use barbecue sauce, and the reason why I use barbecue sauce instead is because I can use barbecue sauce on stuff that I can use ketchup on, but I can't necessarily use ketchup on stuff I would use barbecue sauce on. So I choose barbecue sauce because I can use that on things that I would use ketchup on. Now I reduce that in there. This is a peanut butter. I use peanut butter in here, but usually, okay, I don't usually eat that much peanut butter. But if I do, what I do is I leave this out on the counter so it's at room temperature, and then we're good. So let's see, what else I got in here? Oh, grapeseed oil, soy sauce, balsamic vinegar. And now I went with this for a while, but it has a higher melting point, but it leaves this weird glaze on my pans. I don't know if anybody else has had that, but look at this. It's like a lacquer finish. See that? If I wanna remove that, I have to use like a grinding wheel. And that's crazy. For my hot if I need hot gloves, I use these. If I really need hot gloves, these are welding gloves from Harbor Freight. You can get 3 pairs of these for $8, something like that. Okay. I had these bottles. I used to use this one all the time right here. One like this. One, because it's lighter. 2, because it's partially insulated. But the only thing I hated about this is if I'm gone for a while from like a civilization, it starts to mold in this top cap here. Right here, you see that? That thing will start to get mold in it, and right around, and then underneath this lid where that rim is, where it connects to the bottle, twists on there. Oh, and I use these lamps right here. These lamps with LED lights. They're just clip-on lamps. And if I want, I just have a little turn-off switches right here. Turn them on and off. Like that. I gotta plug my phone in. Oh, for a battery charger, I get these Blackweb 20,000 milliamp hour batteries. You can get them on Black Friday at Walmart for $15 a piece. And then what you do is you just wrap 2 of them together with, with duct tape. And yeah, I put a fluorescent color on there because most of my stuff is dark monochrome or whatever. Can't really see it. Okay. So I turn this back on, turn my light on. And I also have one up here too. See? So if I don't want to use my kitchen lights, right there, if I don't want to use my kitchen lights, I just use these. And I can leave one of these on at night to make this like a night light when I'm walking around and I don't, run into things. For cast iron, this is not mine. So my mom uses that one. I use, for cast iron, I use these. Now, if you, okay, yeah, you can see up there. That's cool. All right, so this is a pot, right? And it has a little pour spout on it. Not a pot. This is a pan. I use this as a pan. And it has a little drainage pour spout on it, right? But what I did is I got this kettle right here. And you can use this lid that goes on the kettle for the cast iron pan. I only use one lid. So I can store my stuff where I need to. But anyways, people are like, oh yeah, I like cast iron or whatever. So, well, here you go, cast iron. If you're gonna have cast iron, get something like that. You can get the it's a Dutch oven with a lid on it. Right here. So if you want to go take it out and throw it in a fire, you can. You can go throw this out in fire. You can use it like that if you want. I don't. People like having iron in their diet, and I tell you what, if you cook in one of those things, you will taste iron in your food. That's for sure. Let's see. Well, here's my rack up here. See, here's the you want your oils to be in a dark bottle. Grapeseed. I love this grapeseed oil for sure. You want it to be in a dark bottle and glass. And okay, cooking cakes. I like making the those box cakes with that. Tastes really good. Balsamic vinegar. I use balsamic vinegar over red wine vinegar, and I really don't use Worcestershire sauce for anything. That's just there. Just there. I don't even use it. Maybe somebody else will. So I could probably get rid of it later. Quaker Oats, for being cheap. Rice. Did you know that you can get rice? You can get 50 pounds of rice at Sam's Club for $25. 50 pounds for $25. So you times 50 by 3, that's 150 pounds. You can get 150 pounds of food. I don't even think you could eat that much in 1 year. One person, I don't think they could eat that much rice. Maybe. Oh my God, the dogs barking. Okay, so let's see. What do I have up here? Oh, yeah. I have pasta, but I like farfalle instead. Farfalle is bow tie pasta is my favorite. I really don't care for like the string pasta, but I have it. It's in here. I don't think I've used that, and I probably need to eat it or something. I have, let's see, plastic bags in here. I have the small sandwich ones. I have the 1 gallon Ziploc, and I have quart zip. Quart zip there. What else do I? Okay. Cutting boards. I have this as a cutting board. These flex ones. These flex ones work pretty good. You can just bend them in half or whatever. Ninja. I have a Ninja Chef. Okay, I do have a complaint about this. If you can see right there where that blade is, where it goes through this container, that thing leaks. If it's like liquid water, like this liquidy, it will drip through that seal there. If you're making like smoothies or something, I don't think you don't really have, and they're not going to be like super watery. You don't have to worry about that too much. But You can just make it in this little smoothie cup right here that you can get. You want to get the Ninja Chef Duo, the Duo. You want to get it with this cup and this blender cup. I'm really liking this Sandmark lens. Look at this. I'm using, this is my phone, and I'm using a Sandmark lens, fisheye, to do this recording, or to make this video, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Oh yeah. So on here, this is how many amps it draws. 18 amps, 2,000 watts. How do I know? Because I had this plug-in. I had a power meter on here, and then I made a label for it so I remember how much it maxed out at. Electric kettle. The temperature on here was 215. What was the wattage? Okay, here's the wattage right there. It was 12.4 amps at 1493 watts. Here's my spices. I use salt. I use pink salt. I use Italian herbs because that's like getting, I think, 3 or 5 different herbs all in once. So yeah, just stick it all in one bottle. Oh God, my phone got wet. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Dry that off. Alright, so let's see, where am I? Red pepper. But I go pepper red because, you know, when you're making a spreadsheet, it doesn't make any sense why you would have white pepper, you know, red pepper, black pepper, something like that. It should read like this. Pepper, what is it? Then the color of it, the subcategory of it. It's quite weird how our language is. Curry, I use just a little bit of that. Cinnamon, I use that a little bit. Little bits of that. Where is my pepper at? I'm pretty sure I had a pepper jar over there. Oh, here it is. Pepper. That's supposed to go where cinnamon goes, or well, replace cinnamon. Oh no, that's right. I used white pepper. That's right. I switched out black pepper for white pepper. But anyways, let's see. Yeah, all right. I don't have to use that cinnamon. I really don't use cinnamon much. But I do use Cavender's a lot. This stuff right here. That's some good stuff. All right. That stuff right there. Yeah, this is basically just my catch-all thing. You know, I get this thing from Sam's Club. What is it, 1 pound? 511 grams. So that's, yeah, that's over 1 pound. That's half a kilo. Oh shit, shit's falling. I do have a colander, a strainer. I use this. This is what brand is this? This is Farberware. Farberware. I only got one. You only need one. You don't need a bunch of them. Like I see there's you know, you can get a kit of these, or they have multiple ones in here, 3 or 4 or something. I'm like, why do you have that many? Just use one. Use one strainer. Just because you're getting more doesn't mean that you're actually getting more. You're getting more crap in your house like you wouldn't need. Let's see, what else do I got up here? Okay, I have funnels, spice funnel, some other funnels, cakes funnels, liquid funnel. I think I only got 3 of these because I was going to use one of these to travel with or something. I'm not going to edit any of this. For measuring cups, I use this. I use the 2 cup. And My 8 cups probably in the wash right now in the sink. Okay. I have measuring cups. So quarter cup, and they have the mils on there, 60 mils, quarter cup, half cup, up to 1 cup, 240. And I just round my cups up. I say if I'm actually weighing something out or making something like with ingredients, I say 250 grams is equal to 1 cup. So if like a recipe somewhere says calls for 1 cup, I just make it 250 grams. Why not? I mean, come on, let's make things simple, right? Like half a kilogram is 500 grams. 1 pound is equal to 450 grams. Why don't you just why don't we just make 1 pound equal to 500 grams? Makes sense, right? 500 grams. Okay. And then just weigh everything. Just weigh everything in your recipes when you're going to make it. It's simple. I have a no contact thermometer. What's that say? What's the range on that? I think it says like 1,900 degrees or something on there. Oh no, wait, that one says 400 Fahrenheit? That can't be right. That's got to be greater. Oh yeah, 900 plus. You want it to be at least greater than 800 because that's what a cylinder head runs at in an engine or a generator. If you ever have to like find faulty valve or injectors. Anyways, this uses, everything in this house uses a AAA battery. The scales, everything, or AA, I mean. But what you can do, I haven't even used these. I haven't gotten to the end of these. These are what came with this thing. But what I do is I get AAA rechargeable batteries, right? And then you can get a little tiny sleeve that goes around it, an adapter that changes a AAA to a AA battery, right? So all you have is AAA batteries in the house and then AA adapters, like sleeves to go over your AAAs. People are like, well, yeah, but don't you have to recharge your batteries more? And I'm like, well, it's not noticeable. Like it's not a thing. All right, so I have these spice spoons. These are called spice spoons, right? Why are they called spice spoons? Well, if you don't know, it's so they can fit. I didn't know this, but you see the ones that are round, right? Like a spoon, like an eating spoon. But this is so it fits inside of a jar, right? It fits inside these jars, a spice jar. This goes down in there. All these do. This is the largest one, a tablespoon. And look, it says 15 milliliters on it. So that's what? 1 tablespoon is equal to 15 grams because 15 mils is pretty much 1 to 1. 1 milliliter is almost the same as 1 gram. And then when we're dealing this small and we're cooking or whatever, we're doing a recipe, you can just weigh it out as 15 grams. And people are like, well, oh yeah, well, oil's lighter than water, right? Oil's lighter than water. I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, whatever you're putting in there, if you're weighing your food out and you put 15 grams of oil in there, then your food's probably going to taste a little bit better. I mean, just use your brain. Now, like if they say a tablespoon of black pepper or crushed red pepper, well, that's going to be less weight because, you know, the density or whatever. So that might make your food a little bit more spicy, you know, just kind of use your brain power when you're making these things. But the spice usually works out all right because, one, if you go by making a pound, 1 pound, 500 grams, like if it says a pound of meat and you use 500 grams of meat, then
then the amount of spice you put in, if it says like 5 or 1 tablespoon of whatever, and you put 15 grams of pepper in it, it might equate for the extra, you know, what was it, almost 50 grams? No, 45. So 55 grams, no, 454, yeah, 55 grams. But let's see, what do I have over here? Oh yeah, so 1 gallon, 8.35 pounds. I have a conversion right here on my fridge. Can do this. And you see how 1 gallon is equal to 3,000 or 3.785 liters, or 3,785 grams, right? So what we could do is just say, oh yeah, 1 gallon is equal to 4,000 grams, right? You can still keep it. You can still keep your measurements, your sayings, like 1 gallon, but instead of it being 3,785 grams, you can just round it up to 4,000. And I tell you what, you can put that extra, what, 215. You can put that 215 grams, which is 1 cup, in a 1 gallon jug. All right, let's see, what else do we have here? So there's 1 cup. 1 cup says 250 grams. 250 divided by 2 3/4. One of these is off. I can't remember. It might be the ounce. 32 to a heavy ounce. Tablespoon. That should be 15. 15 grams. Tablespoon, 7.5 grams. Teaspoon is 5 grams. This should be 15. I might have weighed that, and that's what the density difference was, or something like that. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, these were just some extra random measurements, you know, for you to fill your brain. And then I have just quick recipes over here. So for a smoothie, you use 250 grams of water, 250 grams of juice, and then I can't really remember what this was. That might have been like an extra 500. So you do like 500 and 500 or something. I don't know why I don't have my weights there. But let's see, steak 10 minutes, chicken boneless. Oh, this was for pressure cooker times. Rice 35 minutes. This was rice 1-to-2 ratio. Now I found that like it depends on what rice you're using, right? So it should be 1-to-2. But when I had to pay per gallon per water, a gallon per water at 37 cents a gallon, I tell you what, instead of adding 3 cups of water, I only put 2 cups of water in there, so I could eat more. Anyways, this was my recipe for rice here. Rice 200 grams, water 400 grams, salt 5 grams. Pasta 10 minutes. See, it only took 10 minutes to cook pasta in a pressure cooker. And, like a Instapot or something. Bean soup, dry goods, food recipes. So yeah, like an egg. When it says add like 3 eggs or 1 egg or whatever, without the shell, it's between 50 and 55 grams. These things are pretty much dead on all the time. I've never had a large white egg never weigh less than 50 grams. All right, and never more than 55. So when you're making your cake batter and you're adding it, it says, you can actually figure out exactly how much your batter is gonna weigh. And I tell you what, you can put 1 kilogram of batter mix into an 8x8 pan, and I have that weighed out too, just in case you forget to in case you forget to actually zero out your scale before you put your pan and start mixing all your stuff together. That's a quick reference guide. Always have something like that just in case. These, I did have labels on these. These are my spoons. I only have 4 of each. 4 of each. And that's probably too much anyways. But because I'm like, if you carry your own fork, knife, and spoon with you everywhere you go, then you don't have to have, you don't have to have silverware for other people. Anyways, this is the stainless steel straw that I use whenever I use it, and I have a smoothie straw that I use. That's great for really thick milkshakes. Let's see. Oh yeah, my sushi roller. Yeah, okay, so sushi's pretty expensive, right? Anyways, you get one of these things and you make yourself rice that you can get at Walmart for Sam's Club, 50 pounds for $25. You can make a lot of sushi rolls with that. You know, learn to make sushi. It will save you some money. Oh, you're right. Here we go. These little whisks. Everybody gets those little tiny automated whisks. For their coffee or whatever. Just get one of these. Stick it in a Makita subcompact 18-volt drill, and use that as your blender, your mixer. Works just fine. These were my these spoons and stuff. I mean, who remembers that? Okay, that lids, Ziploc. Anyway, I'm still in the process of organizing these, but I have my flashlights up here. Once again, this might look like it takes D or C batteries, but it doesn't. It takes AA batteries. These are all AAA batteries. Cupcake mix. I've never made any more cupcakes than this. All right. I don't know how many people, like, you need a whole oven to cook pancake or cook muffins in. I think there's 8 in here. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. There's 8. I've never used more than 8 cupcake holders to make cupcakes. And you can bake them right there in that little Black & Decker, what do you call it? Convection oven. You can even cook a 16-inch pan pizza in there. How you do it is you cut it into 4 pieces. You cut it into quarters and you put 2 pieces in at a time and cook them in a staggered pattern. This is what I use to clean the glassware for those and the pans, the bottom of the pans. I use that. And maybe this, I can't remember what I use this one for. But this definitely on glassware. You can use, what does that say? Max 4,800 RPM. Does it give you a size on there? On what cup size that is? I don't know. I think this is a 3/4 inch cup. 3/4 inch cup? No, it's probably a 1 inch cup. My thumb's about 1 inch. Okay. From that digit to that digit. And underneath my sink here, I use this. I use a 5-gallon bucket with a cam lock that just drains straight into the 5-gallon bucket right there. And when it fills up with water, you know what I do? I just take it outside and throw it out there in the yard. This is my trash can. Lots of junk in it. Okay. I like to have matching stuff, so don't pay any attention to this white trash bag in the black trash can. But if you get this one, okay, so here's the lid. Get the lid, get the trash can with a pop top lid on it. This looks gross. What that is right there, that's white lithium grease. You want to spray these springs down because that is some really bad metal that they're using for it. This trash can, it doesn't have a foot lid on it. Why? Because if you get the ones with the little foot pedal on it, that's some little mechanism down there that will probably break. Not only that, if something leaks inside of your trash can, it will come out of those holes where that foot pedal goes. And like this is just a container. This lid, the little locking mechanism, is in the lid itself for the drain, right? So some people might want to have a drain that just goes straight to their sewer or whatever, their gray water, right there. I taped this off, but what it is, that's a cam lock right there. So what you do is you just take a hose, a spa hose, and you connect it from here down to here, and to make the trap, you just wrap it around in a circle, and that creates your drain. That creates your P-trap or whatever. Oh man, I'm getting old. All right, I think that's it. For a heater, I use this for electricity anyways, an electric heater. Why use a giant heater when you don't have to? That's on, okay. And it has a thermostat on it. See? It's quartz crystal, quartz heater. That's just so it heats up quicker. Sometimes, like when I'm making a recording like this, I don't use this because this makes noise, right? But if you're trying to really just take the cold out of the air, run this first, then turn this off, and then use one of those little convection heaters. And if the power goes out and you need a propane heater, use this one right here is what I like. I use this. It's called a Olympian Wave 3 heater. Wave 3 catalytic heater. Now these people right here will charge you $27 or more for their hose, right? For their hose. You can get this Gas One. I got this Gas One for $13, and it's adjustable from 0 to 20 PSI. Right? 0 to 20 PSI. Anyways, you just make the adjustment yourself with the little piezo there. And maybe the good thing about that is that you can adjust this a little bit more or whatever to make the glow the way that you want it to. And they charge you $15 for a cover, but what I use is this. I use one of these little, these little string bags that people just give away at events or something. And they charge you, I think it's $15 for the feet for this thing to sit on, this Wave 3 to sit on. But you can go to Walmart and you can get yourself a metal chair for $10, $9.99. This metal chair that you can also use as you can use it as a chair, like it's intended to when you're not using your heater. Like during the summer, you can just put that away. I use this in my room. I don't go ahead and try to heat up the whole house with this. But if you need to, you can use this to just take the chill out of the air. And like, why would you heat up your whole house when you can just heat up the space that you're living in? You know what I mean? All right. So I think that is it. We're just going to wrap it up at 45 minutes. Damn, that was a long time. All right. At least it wasn't an hour. Oh, well, I guess while I'm here, I'll just show you this. So I use one of these chairs. You can buy 2 of these off Amazon, I think for like $60. And they fold up. They're like those folding recliners. And if you're not heavy as shit, if you're not really heavy person, you can actually use these. And it's cheaper to buy the set with the 2 that have the little armrest, the little detachable armrest, instead of trying to buy another pair or buy those separate. My curtains, I like these curtains. They're nice. And behind my curtains, what I've got is this 1-inch premium engineered insulation stuff. And around the outside of it, I put this aluminum foil tape, or this foil tape on there. Put it all the way around the perimeter. And then what I did is I screw it to the wall. I'm holding my battery because my battery is dead when I started this, so I had to plug it in. And it's, you know, mold, bug resistant, 100% recycled. Probably not, that's probably a lie, most of it is. Okay. Yeah. Alright, good. That will drastically cut down on your heat loss. I don't use this. I used to use this, but I don't anymore because now I have the Berkey. So what I do is I just run it through here. And okay, guess what? This right here only cost me $31 off Amazon. $31. Brushed stainless, single pull handle. This has a hot and a cold in it. This I got off Amazon for $30. This faucet for $30 off Amazon. Put it in a 2-sink hole. Moen, I think I found this for $40. And I run it on PEX. Run PEX lines with stainless steel braids. Now all this is sitting on rolling carts. These rolling carts right here. Instead of when you're buying PEX, instead of buying the blue color PEX and buying a red color PEX, you know, so your stuff matches, just buy rolls of white PEX. It's the same stuff, right? Without the chemical dye in it, without the dye in it. Say hello, cat. This is my cat. That's her. Her name's Clarissa. What you do is you get yourself a 3M electrical tape, colored 3M. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap and try to get cheap electrical tape. Cheap electrical tape is nothing to mess with. It will be nasty later on. You don't want to be messing with it. It leaves a residue on there that is annoying like no other. So anyways, since I had these on steel braid, or what do you call it, lines, and sitting on these racks with wheels, I can move that whole thing if I want to. Yep. So I don't have counters. I got rid of all my counters. You can see where they used to be right here. And now all this can move away from the wall if I need to get behind there or clean something. Like nothing gets back there. It's all clean. And then for flooring, this is just that roll down. This is just that lay down flat mat. That corrugated lay flat mat. And I just overlapped it a few inches. See, that's the floor. And underneath it, what I did is underneath this mat, as I painted all this with Kills paint. But yeah, you want to see underneath the, see, look, you can see underneath the whole rack. You can see underneath the sink, the rack system. See it? It's completely free. You can move this. It's like, what do they call it? They call it an open floor plan. Yeah, this right here, I took this over and had this sink cut out with a water jet. And then I dropped the sink in, and it fit in perfectly between these two things. You see? between these two braces in the sink. This and this, between those two. And to hold it together, I use one of these. You know, one of these Irwin Vices. Irwin Vice, I think it's a 6 or a 12-inch thing. I just use that, clamp it down, and it holds these all together. All right, that's the end. Peace.